and welcome to No Highway Option, a podcast about cinema. Because whenever you watch a movie, there are many questions that you ask, like, who wrote this? Who directed it? Is it quality cinema? But the world's most important question is it better or worse than Vin Diesel's 2005 masterpiece, The Pacifier?
Usually, it is not.
Well, that's what we're here to answer on this podcast. I'm Connor.
And I'm Luke. Oh, I'm going to be talking at the same time Connor's talking.
Well, yeah, I can layer them. It's not an issue. We're trying this out because we're both fans of the 2005 film, The Pacifier. I don't know why I keep specifying the year.
It did come out 1 year before Yu-Gi-Oh! Ended. That's something I learned last night.
Yu-Gi-Oh's still going.
Well, yeah, sure. But like...
The spin-offs where they're on, like, bicycles.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Prime, where it was a hair. It was all about the hair thing. Side note, there was... Remember that whole thing? The hair was like a thing. There was... No, I'm on a tangent here.
I remember there was big hair, and there was like a ad before the show would start.
There was like a commercial,
there would be like a really badly photoshopped hand like spraying Joey's hair bigger because they were like, we need more hairspray. His hair is falling down.
There's a Chef Boyardee style commercial, I feel, where it, like the hair came. It didn't end the same way. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh was like, but I love Chef.
A Chef Boyardee style commercial.
You know, they're like, the can, it's rolling.
Oh yeah, right.
And then
the thing,
yeah,
the commercial that got a dark and gritty reboot in the Academy Award nominated animated film I Lost My Body.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a scene in I Lost My Body where a hand like jumps into a can of tomato paste and like just rolls down the hill, and I was in my house watching it going doo diddle-loo 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 diddle-loo. Speaking of movies, that's what we're doing on this. Each week, one of us is going to choose a film, and both of us are going to watch it, and we're going to analyze it on here, and then at the end, we have a set of criteria to determine whether or not it's better than The Pacifier or worse than The Pacifier. Luke, you chose this first episode's movie. What did you choose and why?
The smash hit Zoom. Tim Allen's finest work.
Did you choose it because that's the thing that's taking over Skype, and you just went, Zoom's a word in my head now, I think I'm gonna do that movie?
It's been so long since we had this idea that I genuinely don't remember why I picked this film. And I was thinking that I watched it.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that was long enough to forget.
Wow. Okay.
This is
This
is a turd.
Yeah. My first note is, hey, fuck Luke for picking this movie.
It wasn't just Rip Torn, because that's all I have written down from my first note.
Okay. Well, in case people don't know, we should probably go over the plot very briefly. So Zoom is about Tim Allen used to be in a superhero group. He had super speed, hence was called Zoom. But when he launched his
Zenith.
The Zenith program, yeah. When his brother turned evil because of rays, he had to launch him into an alternate dimension. And now the brother's coming back, so they need 4 superpowered children to be taught by Tim Allen.
Specifically children, also.
Yeah, there are no adults with superpowers in this world besides Tim Allen and
Monica
as spoiler.
From Friends.
Courtney Cox, yeah.
Also, I don't know if you saw this one. There was a point where they showed a picture of the old team, the old guard, and in the middle of Tim Allen's superhero team is Fez from that 70s show.
Really?
but it's not addressed. Like they're not like, oh man, he has the superpower
Like, that's a great
of
cameo.
smoking a
It's
lot of
just,
pot. Like, no, it's just Fez. He's just sitting there and it's not addressed. We had to pause. Savannah was watching it with me. I paused it, we rewound it, and then paused to look at it.
Mr. Superfast, we are doing a good job. I can't do it, Fez. I now realized. So that's basically it. It stars Tim Allen and Chevy Chase and Courtney Cox, and Kate Mara's in it, and so is Spencer Breslin. I wrote down also, this is the first Fantastic Four movie that Kate Mara is in, technically.
Yeah, it's one of two bad Fantastic Four movies that she was in.
Yeah, but I think this might be worse than Fantastic Four 2015.
I would rank this higher.
I mean, cards on the table, I hate this thing.
Yeah, but don't you also hate Fan Four Stick?
Yeah, but it's kind of like there was definitely something here that got totally destroyed and screwed with. This one, it's just like, this is just a bad thing that someone went, let's make the bad thing. It'll make money. Kids like superheroes.
They
and
had
Tim
this
Allen.
poise, like, this definitely was an attempt at a franchise.
Oh, well, also, I hate the fact that it's called Zoom, because it's about the Zenith and in some territories, it's subtitled Zoom Academy for Superheroes. So why didn't they just call it, like, Zenith?
You wanted Zoom was too lame of a title. You wanted to go with Zenith.
Yeah, or like,
and then
I don't know.
Zoom
Zenith
was
Academy?
the name of Tim Allen's character. You wanted them to be like, oh my god, Zenith, come here, Zenith, run real fast.
His name could have still been Zoom, but the title of the movie should have been Zenith.
It's a sweet chocolate sauce and water banana milkshake you're making with your fingers, Zenith, in your car workshop.
It opens with a comic book style opening, which the second the comic book started, I was like, wow, I could be watching Sky High right now and having a much better time.
I want to know whether it was a coherent choice to base Robert Downey Jr.'s image in Iron Man off of Tim Allen's in this movie.
It is, yeah, he does have like the goatee and the all black tight shirt and stuff.
And I would say that it went the other way around, but this movie came out 2 years prior.
2 years before, yeah. You keep saying things that are connecting to the movie that I picked, but I'm not going to tell you until the end.
It's Iron Man.
It's not Iron Man. So it starts out, first of all, one of my favorites, the opening credits, the font looks like it should be in an Austin Powers movie, which really bothered me. Like that's just a thing that I noticed. I was like, oh, these are like, it didn't fit for a superhero movie, but whatever. The best credit was songs by Smash Mouth.
I will
not
say,
by various artists, but there's a lot of Smash Mouth in this bitch.
Yeah, the best part of this movie is the soundtrack. The soundtrack slaps.
It really does. So after Tim Allen had to launch his brother into a different dimension, he lost his superpowers for vague Flash season finale reasons. So he now works at a place called Slow Jack's. Super Speed Man. He works at a place that has slow in the name.
Yeah, the car place that he works...
It's called a garage.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Like a mechanics.
That would be
not just a car
the
place.
real word for this. I just like... I don't know what the setting is. Is it supposed to be a dumpy, rundown garage because there's $1 million automobiles in this establishment?
Yeah, it's really like chrome and shiny, but also Tim Allen is the only employee.
Also, Tim Allen is making a milkshake with his finger when we first meet him.
Yeah. The first moment of the movie is like Zoom lost his powers, and then you meet him and it's like, oh, he's got a super fast index finger.
All but Fingy is very slow.
All but Fingy
plot
very
of
slow
this
indeed.
movie.
So then Courtney Cox comes in, and Tim Allen immediately just calls her a dress
for
and not a
for like
person.
10 minutes every
For
time
a
he talks
lot,
to her.
he's just like, "What is woman? This is outfit."
It's like in Twisted, for audience, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you've all seen Twisted. It's a musical by the same people who did a Harry Potter musical. It's like a play on Jafar's origin story in the same way that Wicked is like a play on.
It's very good.
Yeah, uh, but Aladdin is the villain in that, as opposed to Jafar and that whole shtick. But there's a song where Aladdin is talking to Jasmine, and every couple of seconds he just keeps going, "Take off your clothes," and that's the same energy with which Tim Allen talks to Monica from Friends for the entire first 15 minutes of this movie. Every time she approaches him, he goes, "Where's your green dress?"
And even before that, like, he doesn't even ask. She starts talking, and he's like, "Oh, so the dress is all part of this?" And it's weird. It's Tim Allen's giving off a weird energy in this movie, and this is all I have to say. Is like,
It's
I want him to get back in that Space Ranger suit and just like be Buzz for the rest of his life.
hey,
Maybe give us a little Jungle 3 Jungle, but like,
oh my god,
don't. Or Jungle 2 Jungle 2 Jungle.
Galaxy
But
Quest, another great Tim Allen bop.
anyway, so Chevy Chase and Courtney Cox are like, we are starting up our super child training program because children just get superpowers in this world.
Chevy
And
Chase,
I guess,
who is the owner of a Nobel Prize, um, was a throwaway
yeah,
line.
Chevy Chase, who somehow looks older and sadder than he did in Community, which is when he looks very old and very sad.
Chevy Chase is weird in this movie. There's one section in the middle of
It's
the
such a weird
movie.
choice. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
The skunk part.
Yeah, but I feel like there was one time where they let Chevy Chase like do stuff, and the rest of it was just like, all right, you're just gonna walk around and be here.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna pretend you got hit by a dart and fall down. Or no, he didn't get hit. Whatever. So they start this child thing because, all children have superpowers, and I guess no one cares. Everyone's
At
just like,
least
oh, these are.
way more than, I don't know, is common. The zero that is common.
Yeah. So our four characters, our Fantastic Four, if you will, are Cindy Collins,
who
age
is
6.
Yeah, a literal infant.
She is strong.
Yeah.
You get. We have Summer Jones, age 16, who is Kate Mara.
Who makes a teenager face.
She has vague mind powers, and the way they dress her and the way they like make her up, it really looks like they were like, oh god, we couldn't get Kristen Stewart to be in this. All right, this chick will do. Like, she looks very early Kristen Stewart to me.
Interesting.
Next we got Dylan West, age 17.
First introduced masturbating in the back of his math class, which is taught by Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah, it is super weird that Biff is his teacher.
And it's never addressed again. You just show up and he's like, hey, butthead.
I think it's a science class, because in my notes, I'm like, Dylan West is age 17, and he thinks Newton can finish his own equation, because that's the type of cool cat we're dealing with.
Whatever class it is, and I cannot stress this enough, is
it's
masturbating in the back of it.
He's not.
His hand is buried so far in his pocket he could touch his butthole.
I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Finally, last but not least, we have Tucker Williams, age 12, played by Spencer Breslin.
Who got a raw deal. Spencer Breslin I blame his parents, really, because at some point when he was a kid, he signed a contract with Disney where they were like, all right, dude, you're just going to be you're the butt of the joke. You're fat for the next 4 to 10 years.
But this one even isn't a Disney movie. This is Sony.
This isn't Disney?
No. This is a Columbia movie.
It had Disney
Columbia,
energy.
Sony, whatever.
That's why I couldn't find it on Disney Plus when I was looking for it.
His power is to inflate parts of his body because he's fat. So that translates to making him, I don't know, in all my notes I call him DeviantArt Lad.
Well,
So
when I also feel like, I mean, this is probably a product of the time, probably the CGI that was available, but his powers look the worst every single time.
They look terrible. There's a part a little bit later during the superhero audition process where he inflates his head, and I almost cried.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah, that
of that
looked
just
very bad.
Like, you know when the baby in Son of the Mask turns his head into a balloon for a half second? It's like 6 times worse than that.
It reminded me of what was that cereal that used to have the mascot that was like the meth head? He was like
Honeycomb.
A little monkey, but yeah,
the honeycomb gremlin or whatever his name was. That's our heroes. Tim Allen goes to Area 52. Ha 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 ha. Get it? Is that's one more than Area 51. It's super secret.
Yeah.
And they have auditions for superheroes. I wrote down in this, actually, you know what Tim Allen reminds me of a lot? Just because all he's doing is just being an asshole and doing snarky comments and disrespecting everyone he sees.
But like,
he's Adam Sandler in Pixels.
Yes. Yeah, I don't have that one for reference. I didn't see that one.
Oh, well, I know how to make it. Yeah, no, I don't know why I watched it when it first came out, because I knew I was going to hate it.
I do love the Sandman.
I did.
Oh, also, we roll up to Area 52, we're introduced to a room of scientists who are in charge of this program, and the first joke that Tim Allen goes for is like, how many of you live with your parents? Which feels like a weird assumption to make. Like, you've just walked into a place where these are like top ranking, I don't know, government scientists, and all of them are like, oh yeah, it's me, and they all like look at their feet.
I mean, it's 2006. Nerds aren't cool yet. We got like 3 more years before the thick rimmed glasses and like, LOL, I'm such a nerd, I have seen a Star War comes into play.
I guess, but like, I don't know. They still are wealthy, I feel.
Yeah, but remember, Tim Allen's an asshole.
Yeah.
In this movie.
I just like asshole consistency.
Whatever.
A lot of his jokes are weird. Like, there's a running gag where Monica just keeps falling down. That's her whole shtick for like 3/4 of the movie. She shows up and she's like, oh my god, I gotta fall down. And then Tim Allen makes a vertigo joke of it. That's such a weird, specific niche.
There's a lot of weird stuff that just doesn't work in this movie, and they're like, oh, I bet it's great. The kids are gonna love, well, they have the auditions for the superpowered kids, and
Tim Allen hates the ABCs.
The first 2 people are a fart child and a booger boy.
Yeah, that's too much booger. It was an overload of that.
He had a lot. He had a big snot bubble, and it's like, oh, it's gonna explode all over Chevy Chase and only Chevy Chase, because Chevy Chase just gets the shit beat out of him.
The best part of the whole scene, though, is a kid shows up. I don't remember what her power is, but she opens by singing the ABCs, and it's
the strong girl. It's Cindy.
Oh, okay. Well, she starts singing, and she gets to like G, and Tim Allen has like a visceral reaction. He's like, "Stop it!" And everyone just moves on as if like he did a normal thing.
She like throws a 3-ton weight at him, and you're supposed to be like, "Wow, she overreacted." And it's like, Tim Allen just screamed at a 6-year-old for knowing the ABCs, at least part of them. And so they choose the 4, and Dylan, the invisible boy, is angsty. He's very angsty about having superpowers because, man, it's gotta be so hard sometimes turning invisible. I feel like most invisible characters, that's like the trait, is that it's like, oh, they're so upset that they have superpowers. Well, like him and Violet from The Incredibles. But yeah, it's always like, they're so angsty because they can not be seen.
Yeah, I don't.
It's like, you have superpowers. I don't.
I couldn't follow anyone's motives for anything. That was a running theme.
There's
Also,
also, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there's a logo they drew for this movie that is bad, and
That's
you better get used to
the
it because every scene transition is a slide transition followed by
it's
this horrible logo.
it's some Jimmy Neutron bullshit, but like much worse than Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, because it goes on for the length of 3 Jimmy Neutrons.
It does, but I would have much rather watched 3 Jimmy Neutrons. I'll be honest. Uh, so they're given comics to study up
Which are
on by Courtney
government
Cox,
propaganda.
but it's like, oh, Zoom was such a hero, and Zoom sees them and he's like, these were all stories. They were made up. They're fake. So this was 9 years ahead of Logan doing the same thing.
But not good.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, of course.
Oh, also, they're they're recruiting this team because Zoom's brother is coming back, whose name is Concussion, which is what they
Who I
chose.
thought was Casey Affleck for a while, but it wasn't.
Isn't it? Is it the kid from Boy Meets World?
I genuinely have no idea.
I thought it was for a second.
I can look it up,
I don't
but
know. But they this is the crux of the thing is like we have to stop Concussion, and they didn't tell Tim Allen. At no point do they like it's just a secret.
yeah, it's
There's
it's weird.
there's a series of scenes that happen where Tim Allen walks into a meeting that they're having without him because we don't want to tell him about stuff. And he's like, all right, well, screw you guys. And he leaves to go play baseball with children. And then just ends. And then he's back to being serious and getting in a fight with Monica, falling down. And
He
there's
does
no.
leave to go and
It's immediate.
play
He's like,
baseball with
okay,
children.
well, I guess I'll go play baseball in the airplane hangar.
This guy, his name is Kevin Zagers, who played Concussion.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, he was not in Boy Meets World. He was in a lot of the Airbuds.
Okay. That's
Not as the same character every time. Oh no, it was the same. He was always Josh Fram.
we love Airbud in this house
Yeah, Airbud's great. He was also in MVP Most Valuable Primate.
with the mascot from the Honeycomb cereal.
No, just a monkey. Is MVP the one where the monkey does hockey? I think it's the one where the monkey does hockey.
I don't know.
I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
know
that's
there
the
was a
hockey
monkey
one.
playing hockey movie. Why didn't we watch that?
It's either monkey baseball or monkey hockey. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things where they show the characters like doing their superpowers perfectly, and then later in the movie it's like they can't control it. We have to teach them. And it's like, what did they do at the audition? They seem pretty in control then. Why is whatever? Oh yeah, that's you beat me to my next note. Also, baseball scene is right the fuck out of nowhere. Yeah, the kids all hate Tim Allen until there's a montage, and then they're like,
and then they
"New dad."
still hate Tim Allen. They don't
And then after the
stop hating
montage,
Tim
they
Allen
hate him.
until after that. But they stop
But
hating
they
Tim
only-
Allen to play baseball in the middle of this movie.
Yeah, they stop hating Tim Allen during montages where they're like smiling and giggling with him, and then just
And
then
it's
the scene
not
starts
just
up again.
him and the kids. It's like him and the kids and like 12 scientists who can't be fucked to do their job, I guess.
Scientist comes home. It's like, oh honey, how was your neutron acceleration experiment? Nah, I had to play fucking shortstop for the inflation kid again. Oh, there's a robot. Right. Okay, so the little girl's whole character arc is she wants a name and a costume, and she always dresses up like a princess because she's a 6-year-old girl.
Right.
And then Tim Allen introduces them to a robot who would do robot things in the past named Mr. Pibb. Which is it isn't the weirdest product placement in this movie, but it's pretty weird.
I think I think it's the weirdest product placement.
I We'll get to the weirdest one, I think. But
I know where you're headed. I know which one you're thinking of, and I think that this robot being named Mr. Pibb for no reason is much weirder. This
maybe
is the
it's
hill
just
I will
because
die on.
maybe I don't consider it as weird because I love Mr. Pibb and would defend him with my life. He's got such a weird little design. Most of the time, it's obviously like a prop, but I think Mr. Pibb's great.
When is
He's the
the
one time in
time?
this.
When is the time that you didn't know it was a prop? When was the time you're like, "Oh shit, man, that's pretty good"? Like, I really
No,
thought that
like
was a real robot that walked onto the set because I
no,
didn't
like
have any
CG.
of those moments.
No, no, like it looks like it's a practical like thing there rather than like a bad goopy CGI thing. Like it looks like they built it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody built something. I just
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like a CGI trash fire like most of this movie does. But no, I love Mr. Pibb very much. He is a good friend, and it was the one
um,
point in this film where I felt hope and joy instead of soul-crushing despair.
there's
Not the one point, because every time Smash Mouth played, I got a little glimmer of hope.
it's a solid soundtrack. I would I would not purchase this film, but I would purchase the soundtrack. Not for like a lot of money, but like I don't know, man. If I saw it in a $3 bin, I might grab it.
I was gonna say $1.99 on iTunes.
Uh,
Um,
there's
so
a Tim Allen and Dylan heart to heart that
oh yeah, they have a
happens.
lot of those.
Like there's a first one and some stuff that is covered. Tim Allen really feels like skipping is gay, which is bad because it's 2006, I guess.
There is
But
I
like
didn't. I don't know if I wrote that down, but yeah, no, there is a lot of
he
before
like
before
tries
that
to
though.
dissuade him from saying that. He's like, oh man, what are you skipping? He's like, no, I wasn't skipping. I was running. And then he tells him, he's like, oh, we were doing a bunch of guy stuff, which is a list of nonsense things that ends with throwing fish at each other down by the river,
As you do,
which is
you know. Well,
like, I don't know. It felt like we were supposed to know that as a thing.
I mean, we're guys. We do that. That's the guy code.
I just, I don't know. He, a lot of Tim Allen's lines in this movie are like just maybe it was just stuff that Tim Allen said, and they're like, all right, whatever, we'll keep it.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Tim Allen. Period. I've never watched Last Man Standing, but like, if it's anything like this, I don't want to watch it.
I don't hate Tim Allen. I
Although
like a lot of Tim Allen content. I just
I like
this
a
is
lot
not part
of
of it.
I like a lot of pre 2000 Tim Allen content, and then the Toy Stories, and I think that's about it. Shaggy Dog is bad.
Yeah, well, was it ever gonna
The
be good?
I don't know, man. People liked the original one in the 60s. That's why they made two of them.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
Haven't you ever seen the clip of the Shaggy Dog punching a guy in the face?
Raymond, this dog has no license and is clearly in violation of the leash law. Call the pound.
I already did, sir. The truck is waiting outside.
Out of my way!
I think that's from the sequel, The Shaggy DA.
The Shaggy Dag.
No, like District Attorney.
Yeah, I know. It was not a good joke.
Anyway, before the heart to heart, at least in my notes, is the weird product placement scene. They kind of go one into the other. Mr. Pibb leads them onto a UFO because, you know, it's Area 52. They have to have a UFO. And they fly the UFO around and go to Wendy's. And they're at the Wendy's for like 6 minutes, naming everything on the menu.
Wendy's paid money to be in this film, for sure. I still don't think it's weirder than the robot being named Mr. Pibb.
I mean, if you don't know Mr. Pibb is a brand, then it's kind of just like, that's a silly name for a robot. This, it's like, we are at Wendy's. Spencer Breslin wants a classic Dave's triple.
And 6 Frosties.
We should all get Frosties. And it even continues when the UFO comes back and Courtney Cox walks up to Tim Allen and is like, why did you take the UFO out? And he's like, I got you a hot chicken sandwich. Bag logo facing camera.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and they cut back to the Wendy's one more time because a manager is the one who's like, I saw an alien, and it's so
They do. They
bizarre.
spend a lot of time with the Wendy's employee guy.
It genuinely hurt my brain. There's another heart to heart where Cindy goes to talk to Tim Allen, and it's at night. She had a bad dream, so she wants to sleep in his room. And he's like, oh, I'm begrudgingly starting to like the kids. And nobody points out that Cindy is wearing the pajamas from A Christmas Story.
I didn't even notice that until you said it, but yeah.
She is wearing pink rabbit pajamas, and I'm like, is there a reason that it's the Christmas Story pajamas? Is he going to be like, you'll super strength your eye out, kid.
Also, she pulls the couch off the wall that he has told her she could sleep on so it can be closer to the Tim Allen.
Yeah.
But
That's
I want to
cute.
know why Tim Allen's couch was bolted to the wall.
Because it's a government facility?
But it's
probably?
not like a
they're-
metal couch, you know? It's a regular ass couch,
True.
but it's bolted to the wall.
To make a better joke of a 6-year-old pulled it, ha ha ha. She can lift up a car.
Sometime
right
around
after,
this point, I noticed that Spencer is wearing more shirts every time he's on screen.
yeah,
And
he wears a lot of shirts.
it wouldn't be so noticeable except, well, yes it would. It's horrible. It's so
pretty
bad,
noticeable.
but it
It's
makes
really
it worse
bad.
because when we're introduced to him, it's at a pool and he's not
Yeah, and
wearing
he has his shirt off,
any
and
shirts.
he kind of just looks like a husky young boy.
Right. And it's noticeable when he's wearing 100 t-shirts later.
To look bigger. My note at this point was, oh fuck, there's an hour left. Yeah, right after this is a scene where Chevy Chase goes into a simulation room that's supposed to look like the woods, and the kids lock him in there
And try
just
to
start...
murder him.
Yeah, they start
can
pressing
start-
buttons to start up the wind machine, start up the rain machine,
The
launch a
murder
squirrel.
machines. Chevy Chase doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a
No.
man that they all went nerd.
He's just an old
Murder
man
him.
that they tried to kill by
They hit him in
striking
the
him
head with a rock, and it
and then they make him get struck by lightning, which causes him to. I
become.
wrote it kind of sounded like he did a bad Asian, racist Asian voice.
My note says the kids
Because
tried to
he
murder
got
him,
struck
and
by
this made him
lightning.
racist.
And it all ends with a skunk. And they just shoot fake skunk scent at him, which is just a ride at Disney World. People wait in line 20 minutes to experience that.
It's a skunk that it's a stuffed skunk. It's not that it matters, but
It's a fake
it's
skunk.
a fake skunk that they
had
push
the
a button.
Spray.
Yeah. So it comes up from the ground and it rises very slowly and then its tail lifts very slowly. And this whole time, Chevy Chase, it's not like he's been restrained. They pushed him towards it. Chevy Chase is just sitting on the ground looking at a skunk's ass for like a minute and a half. And he
was just
plenty of
struck by
time
lightning.
to
He might be paralyzed. We haven't considered that this man could be in serious danger.
Yes.
So a lot of the movie is just torturing Chevy Chase because he just gets stuff thrown at him, which allegedly, according to people who have worked with him on sets, might be kind of deserved because apparently he's kind of not good to work with, allegedly, so I've heard. And then making fun of Courtney Cox, which I don't think is deserved. I like her character in this movie. I think she's nice.
Yeah. I don't...
We later find out that Dylan can also astral project along with his invisible powers. They call it mind sight. It's basically what Mrs. Potato Head does in Toy Story 3 when she can't find her other eye. And she just, like, covers up her one eye and is like, I'm someplace dark and dusty.
Yeah, and this power we've decided means that Dylan should lead the team. And
Yeah,
I don't
I think
agree.
I think it's because he talked with Tim Allen the most and isn't a 6-year-old.
Yeah, well, if there's one person who has the best powers here, it is the 6-year-old. It doesn't matter if she's dressed like a princess. She lifted 6
Yeah.
tons
I mean,
just a few scenes ago.
Kate Mara can probably do that herself, though, like with her brain. There's no strength limit to brain.
Kate Mara's powers are vague, and she has the most trouble activating them, I feel.
She has telepathy, and then later it's like, oh, you're also a technopath. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of usually comes with the territory of mind powers. Mind with machine.
Either way, Dylan is the lowest tier.
Yeah, I don't care about him. Like, Spencer Breslin's.
Okay, yeah.
He's pretty low tier. His thing is scary.
I just feel bad. I feel bad ripping on Spencer Breslin.
I mean, he does do better than Dylan during, like, their escape when he, like, inflates his forearms, wrists to, like,
Listen,
crush
every
the guy?
single scene of Dylan using his powers is fucking nonsense. Every time they're like,
Dylan or Spencer Breslin?
Spencer Breslin, they're like,
Tucker.
Yeah. They're like, what would be the least useful body part to inflate during this combat scenario? And he does it every time. The first time we meet him, he is insulted by some kids at a pool, so he inflates his
big.
balls to the size of the pool and murders all of the
balls.
local children. Then
It's not his balls. It's his butt.
Take a good look at that, the way that they animated it, and tell me that's an ass, because it's balls.
I think this would not be a PG if it was balls.
They might have been trying, but what they drew was a balls, I assure you. And then later, we're in a montage, and they're like shooting horrible paintballs. That's another thing. They shoot these things that are supposed to be paintballs, but clearly no one who was drawing them had ever seen a paintball before, because they're super balls.
Yeah,
it was clear. It was so they didn't have to shoot the paintballs, and they could just put the paint on the costumes, and it could be two separate things, I'm sure. But it was like garbage. And in this scene, they're throwing shit at him. What is he?
Is this the scary one?
The head thing. I don't know where that comes.
It's his eyes.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Yeah,
in
his eye
inflation
is horrifying.
Are you in a fight where you're like, oh, I got it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my fucking eyeballs the size of the room.
It's awful. There's also a part where he, like, pushes Tim Allen up against a wall with his stomach, and there's, like, a clear outline of a belly button, and it's like, that part was just unnecessary. That just makes it look grosser.
He could have had any other superpower. If Tucker's superpower was that hot dogs came out of his ass, it would have been a better superpower than what they picked.
And better than Dylan.
And also better than Dylan.
So we're
also, he was masturbating when we were introduced to him. And I'm not over it.
Why do you want to make this so R-rated?
I didn't make the film.
Anyway, and also the paintball thing didn't seem that difficult. It just seemed annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, once they turned on strobe lights, I was like, okay, I can see how I'd struggle with this. But when it was just like, the floor's kind of spinning, hit a button. It's like, all right.
That's the whole thing. How does that help them train? He's not the easy button from Target. Like, they're fighting a real man.
Staples. It reminded me of,
didn't I?
It's a worse version of the Save the Citizen sequence from the much better children's superhero training movie, Sky High, which I will stand by, rules, is still incredible.
Connor just wanted to watch Sky High, in case you hadn't picked up on that yet.
I really wanted to watch Sky High during this because I like Sky High and just so much, even though it's from the director of Trolls, which like he went downhill.
At this point,
Oh yeah, they have a prom.
yeah, the children are good
They
at having
to make
superpowers, so they have a prom.
So they give them a prom, and
then there's
Courtney Cox and Kate Mara have a Bechdel test scene because they talk about like, oh man, should wear dresses, huh? Yeah, let's not talk about guys.
Where Courtney Cox gives Kate Mara the ugliest dress I've ever seen in my life.
It's very 2000s teenager.
Poor girl's like, oh man, I am making weird faces this whole movie, and I want to impress this strange boy who said that we were destiny upon our first meeting. She's like, I have just the dress that is a handkerchief for you. And then Kate Mara says to her, I always thought the prom queen should be the girl with the highest
IQ. I wrote that down as well and just wrote, come on, what are you doing?
I just don't know how those two things relate.
Cause you know, she's indie. She's not like other girls.
I guess.
This is I hate this.
She's always making a face. Kate Mara, this whole movie it's like the face, the nose thing from Bewitched, but the nose doesn't move, and it's not
like just
right.
a little scrunchy.
It's like she's trying to do it. Like she's
trying to make the
purple
Kristen Stewart
rat
face.
Pokemon. And
Rattata?
Yeah, but not like she doesn't look like the rat. She looks like she's making that rat face. Like always she was standing in the corner of a very dark room and they just shone a flashlight right into her eyes and she went
I think she's trying to make the Kristen Stewart face that everybody gives her shit for.
I feel like it's not a flattering movie for this poor young girl.
I really think they were like, oh man, we could have got Kristen Stewart, but we didn't. Kate Mara, try your best to be as Kristen Stewart as possible. And she went, you're paying me, that's fine. My family owns the New York Giants.
Is that real?
Giants are Steelers. Or do they own multiple?
I don't know. This is news to me.
Oh, what? I think it's the Steelers and the Giants. I'm not reading this whole thing, but that's interesting. So they have the prom and everybody's dancing together. You know, Tim Allen dances with Courtney Cox.
After he steals her glasses for no reason.
Because they did the unattractive until glasses are off nonsense. I hate it. Dylan is with Kate Mara, and of course, Cindy is with Mr. Pibb, and Tucker's alone. Poor Tucker is just shit on this whole movie.
And there's random scientists dancing as well, who should be working. Like, you shouldn't be at this child's prom. You have science to do.
You have a world to save, which we're still not telling Tim Allen about until now.
Then Rip Torn shows up.
Rip Torn shows up, and Tim Allen says, wow, for a straight guy, you're dramatic.
Which I also wrote down. Because what the fuck?
Because 2006, and Tim Allen is just riffing. So they go into... They're like, hey, we need you to go into the desert. And, we're cutting off the Zenith program. We're going to pump these kids full of gamma radiation to make them more powerful.
Because they need to be the Hulk.
And Tim Allen goes, I know a secret hiding spot. So they go to a secret hiding spot and they get their pretty awful names.
Yeah.
They're superhero names. Dylan, because he disappears, is Houdini. That name's taken by a real guy who is dead. So I'm pretty sure the Houdini estate would sue his ass.
Well, apparently they did not.
I guess not. Cindy's name is Princess. Just Princess.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
It is.
Like, not even.
It has been the
not even like
only
Power
thing
Princess.
she's been interested in the entire film.
Yeah, but like Power Princess is right there. That's so
That
easy.
sounds a little. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Tucker, instead of
The
DeviantArt Lad,
Incredible Bulk.
that's already a movie though.
That's what Tim Allen tried to call him.
It's true. But then they went, oh wait, this is already a
They
movie.
went, this is horrible.
So they give him the much better name of Mega Boy,
Yeah. Dylan does the naming.
which is also terrible. And Kate Mara's name is Wonder.
But not wearing an astronaut helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, not
Wow.
not a deformed Jacob Tremblay. They escape and discover that Courtney Cox has rainbow breath,
Yep. She
which is a real superpower.
she blow real hard. Is a joke that Tim Allen has with the children, in addition to a thing I just said.
Yeah, no, it's true. I just don't understand why was the breath rainbow.
Dude,
Could have just been not like rainbow. I don't know.
it could have been something else.
They go into the desert to stop concussion. Somebody says, someone call for a rescue party with extra cheese, which doesn't make sense. There's nothing there. They treated that like a line. That's not a line. Mr. Pibb causes a distraction, and he is a good robot who I love very much. Tim Allen standing in a desert made me want to watch Galaxy Quest. That's the thing. This movie just made me want to watch other movies the whole
Better
time.
movies.
Yeah.
Tim Allen's suit looks a lot like the Black Panther suit for some reason, but like
It
dollar
does.
store version.
It kind of does the mask thing, too.
Yeah.
Which, like, he
He has
didn't
a
have a
helmet.
mask for the end.
He's a
You never
motorcycle
saw
helmet.
the mask and helmet the entire movie, but when Tim Allen has to be active, they're like, all right, stunt double. Let's put on a mask. Let's put on a
He
helmet.
shows up in his suit for the first time in the movie, and somebody says, "Nice suit, lizard boy."
Yeah, it was Concussion. Concussion calls him Lizard Boy, and I guess that's a cut scene. They're fighting Concussion, and then Zoom gets his super speed back because he's processed his trauma.
Because he fast. I just wrote down Tim
Yeah.
Fast.
He's able to just... Oh,
Where once he was slow, now he fast.
I've been able to move my one finger for the past 26 years, but now everything's fine. I put in my notes, Tim Allen run Barry runs his brother back to sanity. Because he did what the Flash do, run in circles until there's a tornado, and then the tornado closes evil dimension gate, which makes his brother good again.
It happens. And then
That's...
the brother doesn't
sounds-
go... They don't take the brother to prison or anything. Like, nothing. There's no...
No, because he's good now. His eyes are blue.
They fight Rip Torn about it, because Rip Torn is there wearing a 4-star general hat. Not a real one, but a hat that has 4 stars on it to let you know. And he's like, "What a minute."
And a terrible wig.
Yeah. We gotta deal with this. And Tim Allen just says, no. Tim Allen's just like, no, fuck off, Rip Torn. And then
gotta take him back to the thing.
And then he
Gotta get him in the
he
man in
just
black.
introduces him to the children as his family. Concussion meets everyone. He meets the children. He's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And then he meets Courtney Cox, and he kisses her on the face.
Yeah, it's weird, and well, everything's back to normal in the end. The children are back into society, and I guess their parents love them again.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. There was a time where Kate Mara's parents just said she just said her parents abandoned her.
Yeah, but
The plot that we didn't
she's
talk
back in-
about.
But now she's a cheerleader because she uses her brain powers to be a cheerleader. And Tucker playing goalie
Is
to inflate
cheating.
his hand. It's yes,
Tucker-
I wrote is cheating.
Tucker is
This
cheating
is
at soccer.
The most egregious form of cheating I've ever seen, and no one says anything, probably because they're scared he can
They're
sit
scared
on them.
he'll make his hand, or let's be real, his ball sack huge and then squash them to death. They're afraid of his elephantitis of the balls, which is his superpower.
It's something. And then they all get notifications on their Firefly cell phones.
Oh, there's Cindy.
I had not thought about in 15 years.
I genuinely
so
didn't remember what I was looking at. I was like, is that a fucking pager? What am I looking at there?
It was a Firefly.
Fireflies. There's our pacifier connection.
Oh yeah, Fireflies. Well, we're getting to that in literally 2 seconds.
But they have this like little wrap up thing where Kate Mara is a cheerleader and Dylan is, I don't know, he just has a rose to give to her. That's his whole thing. Cindy's in a play where she's Rapunzel and she has to pull the little boy up with the hair because he can't climb her hair because he's a manlet. No, he's just 6.
A what?
A manlet. I was just joking.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. But then
I've never heard it.
They pan out to the audience, and if the mother is sitting next to what must have been the father. The father wasn't introduced earlier, and the mother says something to the father, and then the father turns to her, and I don't know if he didn't really have any dialogue, so he said something and they didn't cut it all the way out. But what he says to her is "Hash." He turns to her ear and goes "Hash."
I did not notice that because I was just waiting for this to end.
Yeah, that happened, and then before they gave you time to think about it, Tucker was cheating at soccer.
Smash Mouth's killer song, "The Average, Ordinary, Everyday Superhero."
Oh, fucking Bob.
And the credits begin with a blooper reel, and there's a part where Chevy Chase just starts singing a song. Did you hear the Chevy Chase song?
Yeah, I did.
Where he just keeps saying, "We like to poo in our pants."
Yeah, and they all thought it was hilarious. Everybody joins in.
They wanted to make the old man feel happy.
I think it was one of those things where like they had been filming for like 18 hours and it was funny to them because they were dead tired.
Yeah,
the rest of the world is like, Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy, what are you doing? Well, that's Zoom, sometimes subtitled Academy for Superheroes. Now we get to the part that's going to be hopefully less than an hour, where we analyze it compared to the pacifier. We have criteria for this. Do you want to read off the criteria, or do you want me to?
Why don't you read it off? I have where's the pen?
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 bits of criteria that I use mostly as if I think it's good, it gets a plus. If it's bad, it gets a minus. So I gave it a number value. It's how's the soundtrack? Where does the main actor land on the Dieselometer? The comparison of all of Vin Diesel's performances and their amount of charm and skill. Did I like it as a kid? What did the director do after this? Was there anything as memorable as the Peter Panda dance? Who's the Brad Garrett side character that's so strange but so memorable of the film? And is there anything as insane as the Sound of Music subplot from The Pacifier? In case you forgot, there is a scene in The Pacifier where they think that the young boy is a Nazi because he has an armband and bleached his hair. Turns out he's just playing Rolf in The Sound of Music. It's one scene and it's beautiful.
It's a cinematic masterpiece.
It's amazing.
Vin Diesel then directs said production of The Sound of Music.
Well,
Brad Garrett plays a nun.
If this goes on for a while, we'll just do an episode about The Pacifier, but it's like a special episode. All right, so first, how's the soundtrack? It's amazing.
It slaps.
It slaps so hard.
I'm going to give it a 14 out of 10 because we need to get some points ahead of time for everything else.
It's absolutely incredible. Everything was +1 or -1 for me.
Oh, all right.
But
well, that
absolute.
My number was not compatible.
Well, we'll compare them, but I think we're pretty much the same. So +1. Where does the main actor land on the dieselometer? Now, this is a weird one. I think Tim Allen is bad in this. And he's trying, but not hard enough, which gives it a weird energy. And with all the product placement, I placed him on the dieselometer where, you ever seen the video of Vin Diesel trying to sell Street Sharks?
No. What?
The action figure?
Oh, he's the whale shark. Say hello to that round mound of pound and his power slam. Very deadly. Oh. He loves to tenderize the competition before he eats him. Then we've got Sledge the Hammerhead. I want to show you something up close and personal. I've got something here with such fantastic detail it's going to blow you away. Hand shark! Good shush! Rocky Balboa action.
I mean, Vin's better than him, but where it would land, it's early career Vin Diesel trying to sell Street Sharks, I would say.
Yeah, I can jive with that. My main thing is like where the pacifier gets all its charm is Vin Diesel working with those kids, and he starts off really angry, and then he gets there. It's a charming arc. It works really
Tim
well.
Allen never gets there.
Tim
He's just
Allen
angry.
starts off this movie asleep, and he's asleep for the first 30 minutes. He shows up and he's just grumbling at the kids, and then by the end he's gotten to about a 4 out of 10 on the, like, I don't know, getting along with the kids. He keeps calling them a family, but not like a Fast and the Furious family. It's not.
No,
it's not that.
It's not quite.
So I would rate this as like an early Vin Diesel movie hairline is where I would rate Tim Allen on this movie. Just give that a quick Google image search.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Next up, did I like it as a kid? Did you like this as a kid?
I had not seen this movie until I was already a man.
Yeah, I did not. I remember seeing the trailers and being genuinely freaked out by it, especially by DeviantArt Lad. But like, just
I'm gonna say
this was also
I probably would have liked it as a kid.
See, 2006, I was around 11, and it was around the time where I first started going, oh, can movies be bad? And this was one of them where I was like, I think movies can be bad. And it is. What has the director done after this? So this was directed by Peter Hewitt.
Like
And,
from Walmart Taxes.
Wow. Yeah, sure. That was bad.
Yeah, well, it fit
Jackson Hewitt
it fit
also.
the film. Yeah, it was a Hewitt pun.
Yeah, that was. Before this, he directed Garfield the movie and The Thunderbirds.
Oh my God, how did
And
we get here?
After this, he directed The Maiden Heist and Home Alone 4: The Holiday Heist.
Wow.
So I think it's a negative. I don't think he's done many good things.
Yeah, I would say everything he did after this movie was worse. I would rank this movie above Garfield, above Holiday Heist. What was the other one that was not Thunderbirds?
The Maiden Heist or Thunderbirds. But Garfield and Thunderbirds were before this.
I don't know Maiden Heist, so I guess I gotta leave that one out. But
I just looked at his wiki.
Thunderbirds definitely ranks above this one.
I thought Thunderbirds was cool.
Yeah,
growing
so did I.
Was there anything as memorable as the Peter Panda dance for you?
Oof.
I think you'll know my answer.
I'm gonna say no. Like,
There's one thing that's as memorable and lovable and perfect as the Peter Panda dance. It's motherfucking Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pibb doesn't have shit on the Peter Panda dance.
I love him though.
He exists.
And I had to give this a plus.
I'm gonna give,
outside of the soundtrack, a small plus.
I'm gonna give that a minus. The closest thing for me might have been, I don't know, like there was like the montage, the last montage, and the baseball scene had a little bit of energy, had a little bit of fun. That was the closest.
You know who had energy and fun the whole time? Best performance of the film?
Rip Torn.
Mr. Pibb. Next up, who's the Brad Garrett of the movie? The side character, the wacky side character. I guess it's Chevy Chase, but he sucks.
I'm gonna give this one to Rip Torn.
Yeah, Rip
he's
Torn's a good choice.
He's not a traditional wacky character, but
he's doing his
such
Rip
an
Torn
odd
shtick,
choice for a
and it doesn't
straight-laced military general. He shows
Well,
up.
but this is after Men in Black, so I assume they're just like, oh yeah, that'll, he kind of did that in this. That works.
It was not good. But Rip Torn,
It was not.
I would say Rip Torn was one of the best parts of this movie.
He showed up and he did his job, and I was like, wow, there's Don Geiss.
100% would have been better as Patches of Houlihan.
I mean, I think it just would have been better if he was Zoom.
Yeah, actually, I could
It
have
would
seen
make
that.
for a much more entertaining movie.
Would have been a better
if
arc.
Rip Torn was like, I used to be fast and now my finger go jiggle.
I think that's the thing. I think there's a reason that you're Vin Diesel and like The Rock and Tooth Fairy and stuff like that works, and it's because of where you start, and it's because where you start is like tough guy. And
I haven't seen it. Does Dwayne Johnson work in The Tooth Fairy?
isn't he a football player? Pretty sure he plays.
I think it's a hockey
No, that's
player,
a different
that's
movie.
Why
That's a different movie with the same
You're thinking of the
plot.
game plan.
But isn't the Tooth Fairy something else too? I don't know. But
He's a hockey player.
yeah, but that's the thing.
I haven't
is
seen
like,
it, but I remember the trailer.
these are like tough guys, and they show up, and they already have that thing built. They already have that rep. So they show up, and they like get to be grumbly, and then they get to go through a change, and they build with Tim Allen. Nobody knows Tim Allen as like strong, cool guy. It's not who he is.
He's just a
guy who didn't stand up in a police interrogation for smuggling drugs after dropping out of college, and also the guy who murdered Santa Claus. So like,
Did not.
yeah.
And last but not least, is there anything comparable to the Sound of Music subplot? I just flat out wrote no, because I don't think there is.
I am going to give that one to, let's see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give that one to the Wendy's product placement. It's it's not as good, but it's there, and it's out of left field.
It is. No, you're right. For me, the Sound of Music thing is more like, as there's something so just off-putting and bizarre as this weird little Disney family comedy suddenly being like, the Nazis are here and they're taking your children.
Listen,
as a side to,
there is nothing off-putting about the pacifier.
Yeah, we're going to Wendy's. Like, I don't know. But so my total score was a -3, much worse than the pacifier.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be a little gentler on it. I'm gonna give this movie a 2 because there were some unintended laughs.
Okay.
It wasn't good, but like,
No, it was bad.
I don't know.
But
what was?
Does the 2 make it worse than the pacifier? Much worse than the pacifier?
Oh yeah, I would definitely worse than the pacifier. I just overall I'd give this movie a 2 out of 10. As far as better or worse than the pacifier, just bad, just worse.
Worse, yeah. Well, it's worse than the pacifier, and you're gonna have to take that opinion because it's our way. No highway option.
No highway option.
So that's the end of our first episode. Thank you for listening, because we don't know if this is going to turn out good or not. Hopefully it does. For our next episode, I got to choose the movie, and I was originally going to be nice. I was originally going to choose a movie that I liked that came out just a couple months after The Pacifier from the same studio. It was going to be Herbie Fully Loaded. And then I watched this and went, well, if he gave me garbage, I'm going to give him garbage in return. So let's see if you can guess it. It's from the same studio as The Pacifier, so it's on Disney+. It was recently added. It came out in the 2000s. Late 2000s.
Can I have another hint?
Yes. Do you want the actors in it?
Will that be helpful, or is it like Bob Schmengelson? He was in the
they're
Peterson Chronicles.
They're names. They're definitely actors that are known, but one of them I didn't know was in it until I looked it up in the middle of it.
All right, let's have this.
Well, the main human cast is Zach Galifianakis and Will Arnett and Bill Nighy, and the voice actors are Sam Rockwell, Penelope Cruz, Tracy Jordan, and Nicolas Cage.
This is made up. I don't know what.
It's not made up. Do you want... it's referenced in the book The Fault in Our Stars. Not by title. They just describe the plot, and every time I read it, I went, it's that movie. Why is he talking about that movie? Oh, and another voice actor, two more voice actors, are Steve Buscemi and Jon Favreau.
But it's not Chef.
It's not Chef. That's 2014.
Too bad.
There's no animation in Chef.
Chef is such a good movie.
I kind of want to watch Chef, but no.
It's on the IMDb streaming service.
Nice.
I don't know. Let's have it. I got nothing.
Well, it's a film that sounds like, and it's great considering Tracy Morgan's in it, it could be a fake 30 Rock movie where Tracy Morgan voices one of 3 guinea pigs.
Oh, no.
Who are trained to be FBI agents.
No.
Fuck you for giving me Zoom. Next
the
episode,
goddamn guinea
we're
pig
watching
spy
G-Force. I already watched it. You gotta watch G-Force for the next episode.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
It's something. As a bit of a hint, as a bit of a kind of spoiler, I think I liked it better than Zoom.
Well, I don't know yet.
Well, thank you again for listening. Hope you come back for the next one.
I hope you liked it.
This has been No Highway Option. You can subscribe to us or follow us on if we get social media channels. We want to hear from you. What do you like? What did you didn't like?
How tall are you?
What's
movies? Your shoe size? What's your favorite kind of oak?
If you could put a bunch of numbers together to spend money, what would they be?
Next episode, I'll give you my Venmo account, and you can put those monies into there. That was not put together.
No, it was not at all.
I really fell apart at the end.
Anyway, I hope you tune in for our next episode on G-Force.
Ugh.
This has been No Highway Option. I'm Connor.
I'm Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
You're not JTT.
No, I'm Luke.
And we don't have a sign off, do we?
We don't.
I mean that should have been the This Was Our Way, No Highway Option. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. We should say that next time.
Next time.
That's it. Hope you liked it.
They're not boobs. The theme music for No Highway Option is the song Welcome to the Show by Kevin MacLeod, licensed by using the Creative Commons Attribution License. To find this song and more songs like it, or to read the full license for yourself, you can follow the links in our show description. No Highway Option was created by and starring Connor and Luke, and produced by Connor.